2020, 9:38 as we get back to the KWN Today program after the news break at the bottom of the hour. Time for our Newsmaker segment, and we welcome to the studios Dade County Commission Chair, Vice Chair Robert Goff. Good morning, Commissioner.
Good morning, Evan.
And how are you?
Well, I'm doing good. You know, as I tell everybody, so far so good. Who knows? You know, we're having our battles all across the country, and especially here in Dade County. I know a lot of people, excuse me, that have not been able to talk to Ted. Ted's not really able to talk because of weakness and doesn't need to. But a lot of people are calling and checking on him. Talked with him just for a moment this morning. Ted does have COVID. I know everybody in the county by now probably knows that. He has not been hospitalized, and we're praying that he's not. He is getting through some of the initial things that people go through, but I've had several friends, close friends, that had COVID, and one of their biggest problems was just total fatigue, just give out, weakness, and that's one of the things that Ted's going through right now. But we do ask for your prayers for him and for Diane. So far, as far as anyone knows, no one else in the family has contracted it, and so keep Ted in your prayers. And also I'd like to, if I may, keep the family of Doug Anderton in your prayers. Doug was, I thought of him this morning when I turned the water on. For many years he was manager of our Dade County Water Authority. Of course, Doug passed away a day or two ago. The funeral will be today, so keep Janice and all of his family in your prayers. Doug was a friend of Dade County. And it seems in the last several weeks and months we've lost a lot of those friends, but keep everybody in.
Almost 49 years he retired.
Yeah, I think the only thing probably he ever did.
You're probably right. Yeah. He would have had to start with the water company in his early 20s to put in that many years, and of course numerous. He was one of the founding board members of Citizens Bank and Trust here in the city, and of course a founding board member of the North Georgia Joint Development Authority, representing Dade County.
He's got quite the resume, or had quite the resume, but do keep his family in your prayers. As well as one thing I want to touch on, I've got a lot of bullet points here, and may or may not get to all of them.
Plenty of time there.
Oh, I don't know if I get to rattling on. You may have to step aside and cut me off. One thing I do want to say, most folks know, if you look at the website and know that our commission office has been closed to the general public. The building itself has never been closed because you still go in there to get your tags, to pay your taxes. You also have to go in now. We've got this election going on. Thanks be unto the Lord. Hopefully on the next Tuesday it will finally be over in Georgia. But that's still having to go on. But we have been closed in the office. We've been down to Mary Bailey and Melissa Smith, who have been taking care of business. I've been in and out every day, and believe me, they are to be thanked for coming in. But Sherry and Rebecca and Don have not been coming in. They've been working from home, and everything's going smoothly. But on Monday, we will open the offices back up. We'll try and see. Now, if you go into the commission office, it will not be the same as it was. There's a glass partition once you go in the front door that you're not just allowed to walk in and walk through. But we realize that there are other things. We have employees that need to speak to the HR manager, which is Mary Bailey. They may have insurance questions or payroll questions or general questions. Then you have people that come in. That's where you get your permit for electrical permit if you're building a house. So, we can't just completely shut down and do nothing, but we are doing everything we possibly can to make it safe, so you will be able to go in and do much needed business. But the days of chit chat maybe right now may be over for a while. But we also welcome that, because it's your government, it's your building, it's your elected officials, wherever they be there and down in the courthouse. But we're taking every precaution we can to keep people safe.
Absolutely, and that's one of I think a very much good attribute that Ted has. He very much wants to be. He wants to have that open dialogue with anybody.
Yes, he does.
He wants people to come in, and he wants people to. He is very, very open.
Yes.
A lot of politicians say they have an open door policy, and very rarely have I ever seen his door closed.
You will not unless there is a reason for something going on, which is very few and far between. A lot of people just come in and they'll go back and they'll look in and say, I just want to say hello, or I just want to ask you about your mom, or it's just we're all family. We're from a small community, and we really like it that way. But things have changed because of this COVID. I will maybe catch up on a couple of things that people have asked. Obviously, the Lookout Lake Dam, I did not hear. They were supposed to come out and give the final write-off on that this week. And I'm sure they did. They said no one had to be there because they had pictures, but they did have to come. It's just a formality that they do. They being the state, DNR, and the people that's over there. Also, County Road 6 are going up the mountain. I've been asked several times, when will that be? Well, it won't be till probably, I'd say January, maybe February at least. I don't know. It's a very big undertaking, bigger than anybody probably thought. It was not just throwing down some new asphalt on top of asphalt that had slid, but it is a long hole being dug, I'll put it that way, and that hole has to be filled back in, but first goes concrete and a lot of rebar steel to make it where hopefully, prayerfully, it doesn't slide off again. We still have, as I said, offices that are open. Of course, the sheriff's office and lobby is closed, but the things that they have to do, they can't just shut down. The probate court is open. Superior Court Clerk's office is closed until December the 28th.
Again, that's January 1st.
Okay, to January the
So they'll
the
be
first.
open as of next Monday.
So again, things have to go on. If you're buying a house or needing an attorney to do a title search and all that, those things still go on. So we understand that, but again, please know that we're doing everything we can every morning. Before a shift comes in anywhere, everything's sprayed down with a disinfectant. Same thing that any professional cleaning service might be doing, we're doing.
And making been doing that every day.
Oh, we have, yes. And but this thing, and I told somebody, and Evan, me and you talked about it a minute ago. We got to find, okay, if somebody contracts COVID, well, where were they at? Who was it? Was it this person? Was it Joe? Was it Bill? It may have been a mayonnaise jar, as I tell people, at a grocery store. Someone, if it can be transmitted that way, and some doctors say it can, and some doctors say it can't. You can have that conversation all day of which doctors do you believe. I don't know. I'm not. I am proud to be from Dade County, but I never went to med school. But can it be from a jar of mayonnaise at the grocery store that somebody picked up right 20 seconds before you did and set back? Now everybody go cleaning mayonnaise jars. But we just don't know. It's an unknown, and that's the problem. No one has all the answers.
In the flu and the cold, it's the same thing. We've never probably been able, well, I was around so-and-so, and they had, but you don't know that for sure. You don't know that for sure. And we've even had families that were in the same household, and when one person got it, they isolated to a different part of the room, but the rest of the family never got it. And so it's so unpredictable.
It is. It is.
The bottom line: stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask when appropriate, and wash your hands. Continually wash your hands. And
do everything you can.
Right.
And of course, people are going to differ on that. So you're going to see people in places. I went in a place yesterday, and it said they got to have a mask to go in. I wouldn't have had to go in, but the service station didn't print me out a receipt at the pump, so I went in. I didn't put my mask on to walk in and out. Well, I got in. One of the employees had one on, and one didn't. So you're going to see that everywhere you go. There's no need to get upset about it. We're just living in a different time than most of us have ever seen. I will tell you this, our recycling and waste transfer station will be closed tomorrow, New Year's Day. We still have, as I said earlier, the election going on, which will be through today, and then Tuesday will be the election day at all the precincts. They'll be setting up the precincts to have that. So these are things that must go on. You can, if you want to be tested, you have a reason to just go through and be tested. You're not showing any symptoms necessarily, but you'd like to be tested. Drive-through testing is on Wednesdays from 9 until 12:30, or 9 till noon, and then 12:30 till 4:30 on Wednesdays at the health department. So the number there is 657-4213 if you want to call and make sure before you go. Also, our motor vehicle services will be unavailable from January the 13th to the 18th. And then, but they're always posted on our website, the Mondays that they're there, and it's basically every other Monday, not 2 Mondays a month like we used to, way back, but it's actually every other Monday now. So one good note that is on my little paper here that I think is our unemployment stats. We're at 3%. That's great. The economy, there again, it depends on where you look and what you look at, I guess, but the economy to me seems to be doing fairly well. I know there's people out of work. The stimulus.
But I will tell you there, Commissioner. Let's talk about that a little bit, because we have just about everybody in Dade County is hiring, and we had 2.7 last month, ticked up just a little bit to 3, but still 97% of the folks have a job, and there is a lot of jobs out there.
Oh, yes.
If you do not have a job, chances are
you're not looking real hard.
You're not looking real hard. It may not be the job that you want, but it may not be the job that you were laid off of because of COVID. But they are jobs out there. And we really don't have enough folks to cover all the jobs that we got.
I don't mean to laugh, but you said the job that you want. I never did have the job I wanted. I thank God. I thank God, and I tell people, and I'll say it today, I thank God for every day I worked there. I thank Him twice for every day I don't have to now. But it was a great job, and I would advise anybody to go there. But yes, there are people, in neighboring Walker County, and these are good paying jobs, starting out jobs that they're asking for. So things are better, I think, than it just depends on what what part of it you're looking at. You're looking at icing on the cake, or do you dig into the cake itself?
I think the way that everyone has handled the restrictions, whether we've been very, very fortunate in this region. Most of our manufacturing is all deemed essential, so it never slowed or never shut down. Even in the early days, the governor here in Georgia has never instituted a statewide mask mandate. Some people, will argue about whether he should have done that or whatever. But a lot of our businesses have been able to operate and go and you go into the grocery stores, you have to wear a mask. You go into any type of store, basically, and they'll ask you to wear a mask. And I think they've been able to do that. We've been able to weather the storm a lot better than folks in the bigger cities. I guess that's what I'm trying to say.
Well, we don't have some of the congregating places, and a lot of those were, shut down. The movie theaters, a lot of other type of venues that we don't have, being a small community where people were. But there again, they're the livelihood of people, if that's their livelihood, and a lot of them, unfortunately, it's just like in the paper that I didn't read the story, but CBL, which is the builder of malls such as Hamilton Place, have refiled again to reorganize to try to come out of bankruptcy. All those stores that are sitting there, that was people that were working prior to this, and now some of them are back as a skeleton, I guess, of what they were. But it is real, it's caused a lot of problems. And hopefully, one thing about it, Evan, this is the last day of 2020, and I think everybody will be glad to see it go. And we pray that starting tomorrow, somehow, some way and somehow, that things just go to getting better and better. And 2021 will be, I think we'll look back on this year with a lot of, certainly with a lot of uncertainty in who did what and how it was done, because it has been a year that none of us would have ever thought to see in our lifetime. So
absolutely. I mean, I was thinking yesterday afternoon, and we got a few more minutes here, working yesterday with the funeral home at Morris. We had a first a drive-through visitation, and as I watched that unfold, it was from 4 to 6 yesterday for Doug that you had just talked about, and able to change things, because I think that it worked out very well, because the family was able to still interact. A lot of them came out in the parking lot. You drove up in line, you talked with them, they wrote your name down in the guest book, they were able to interact. Some of the grandkids were up on the back of the pickup trucks waving at everybody as they came through. So the healing process, I hope, of being able to go and show respects and things
Yes.
like that, even though it was different, even though it was totally different, something that we've never had to experience here. I think that it still, we were able to cope and to put the process out there, even though it was different than we could ever imagine. It, in my opinion, it seemed to have worked.
Well, yeah, and people of, businesses like Larry's and other funeral homes, a lot of businesses, McDonald's for that, they had to think outside the box,
Right,
what the
exactly.
norm was. Churches that, are able to live stream and, I sat at home Sunday morning and listened to my pastor while I was drinking a cup of coffee. And because we're live streaming till we can go back, we've been separating, but we decided to go back to the schedule we're on now. But we were able to adapt to that. People having outside venues. They've been faced with things, making decisions like Sheriff Street's funeral, to have it outside where people could still come and pay the respect outside the box, outside the normal. We're getting new normals every day, but thankfully there are ways, if we'll look at them, there's ways that we can carry on the business of the county, the business of the business, and people can still get the service they need, the goods they need, support they need, whatever it is, they can still get it by thinking outside the box sometime and making decisions. And if it doesn't work, then it's like someone said of the guy that invented the light bulb, Thomas Edison. You failed 1,000 times. He said, no, I haven't failed it once. I've only found 1,000 things that did not work, until finally he found the tungsten that makes of course we're going to LED now, so that's all in the past, but we'll find things that will work eventually, and people will be able to get the services and the things that provided to them that they need.
Absolutely. Commissioner, we thank you very much. I do want to say history was made yesterday afternoon in Walker County, as Walker County has adopted all the 5-member commission, the commission executive, as well as the other 4 district commissioners were sworn into office. They will take office tonight at midnight, and Walker County will go from a sole commissioner form of government to a 5-member form of government, mirrored after Dade County.
After Dade County. And there's only going to leave about 4 or 5 in the whole country that has sole commissioners. And
Chattooga County being one. We've still got
Murray County, Bartow County, Chattooga, Murray. So they're all right here in North Georgia, actually.
And you said something, in the whole country.
In the country, not the state, in the country, yes.
In the whole country, and they're all
good or bad or indifferent, yes, it is. But look on the website, I'll throw this in, Dade County ga.gov, because Kerry keeps that up to date. If you've got any questions, you can't get a hold of somebody for whatever reason, AT&T problems, for instance, I hope that's solved. But look on the website, and if you do, you still call our office. Somebody there will give you direction, but again, we'll do our best to open back up in a little different format come Monday morning, but the commission office will be opening back up.
All right, Commissioner, and we continue to send out prayers and great well wishes to County Executive Ted Rumey, and wish him a very speedy recovery, because if we know Ted, it's bothering him that he's having to stay at home.
That is true.
Absolutely.
And Happy New Year to everyone. Be safe, and we'll see you next year.
All right. Take care, Commissioner. Thank you. 4 away from the top of the hour here.